Hey, what's up, YouTube? Thanks for coming back and joining us. I'm Bobby, aka Bot,
And I'm James, aka the Con.
and together we are. All right, so you might have missed us last week because the news was kind of light. So we'll talk about everything that's kind of come out over the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so, and see where we go from there.
All right, let's go start off with what was just announced. And this is honestly the biggest part of today's show. There is a lot of stuff that came out. So the first thing are the Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee, and actually turns into a mask. So I don't know if you're familiar, Bobby, but with the live action line, they have masks that are like role play features, and now they're actually incorporating that into transforming figures, which I think is a step in the right direction for those things. They don't look terribly good, but I think for a kid that actually wants to wear the mask, they'll be good for.
So I've seen the Optimus Primal mask. I've seen that a couple of weeks now, or over
Mhm.
the last couple of weeks or so. The Bumblebee, this is the first I've seen the Bumblebee mask, and I absolutely hate it. I was okay with the Optimus Primal mask, and actually the transformation, you know, looks okay. That Bumblebee face, it looks like a skeleton in the mouth from right here, and it has some smooth lines, which is kind of cool for a mask, but that head is terrible.
And maybe that's why I like it, is because it looks like a skull on the head. But I will not be getting these. But I think Hasbro is going in the right direction for the kids market. I think this is what they should do. They're still complicated, they're still quite large, and I think that there are quite a few kids out there that will actually enjoy having these.
Halloween would have been great to have these.
Yes, it would have been. All right, moving on. Another movie verse uh, uh, announcements. Now these are not. There's no pictures yet, but I think it was Target. They found listings for Core Class RC and a Delta One. Don't know who that is. I wonder if it's supposed to be Alicia One. But the big one that just came out is a Titan listing for Phantom. It's called a Titan Changer Phantom. Now, Phantom, it was a code name that they used already, so this is a Titan version. So I don't know if we're going to get a Titan class studio series or what this is going to be.
I got my hopes up last time I heard an announcement about a Titan figure, and it was Megatron, but not my G1 Megatron that I was hoping for. So my hopes are down in the dumps for this one, especially with it being tied to a movie line. The RC I heard about, I figured it was coming since they showed her in the trailer for the movie. Delta One, I'm with you. Maybe it is Alita One, and they just changed the name to Delta One. I don't know, but the Titan has me interested, but my hopes aren't up for it.
Exactly. I'm wondering if it's going to be the Nemesis that has been rumored for quite some time, and they're incorporating that into the movie line, which would make me sad. so, so let's keep moving on with the Hasbro reveals. And this one is actually pretty cool. It's the Legacy Evolution Prime Skyquake. So I do think this looks good. I like that it comes with his chain gun. It also comes with a sword that I don't have pictured here. And I like that it's a mix of his G1 and Prime self. I just wish it leaned more into the G1 self. And I'm really hoping we get a G1 repaint and a Machine Wars repaint, because that's what I want with this. And I actually added this so you could actually see the size, because this is something that we talked about, either will or have, depending on the release schedule, on our Ironhide review, where they're getting a little smaller. But this one actually doesn't look that small, all things considering. Yes, its vehicle mode compresses a lot, but in robot mode, it's taller than what was that? The Starscream from Earthrise, and that was a normal sized Voyager, 6.5 inches. So it has some height to him. So I might pick this up. but I really want those repaints.
Well, when I saw this announcement, I just knew you were going to be all over this one. So I'm actually surprised you're still going with repaints, but I just knew you were going to be all over this one. I do
Mhm.
like the railgun as well. That's a really cool feature. I don't know if I'm necessarily in on this figure. I didn't collect any of the Prime figures when they were out, so not necessarily sure. The body of the figure I like. I really need to see some better pictures of the head. I like the alt mode as well, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pick this figure up.
So I did not include them, but there are up close shots of the head. There's a whole review from Prime versus Prime with this guy. The head is a mix of the Prime look as well as the G1 look, which I really appreciate that they did that. It just doesn't have the faceplate like the G1 Skyquake. I don't even know if you are familiar with G1 Skyquake.
I
Um,
am.
you are okay, good. But I really want it as Machine War Starscream because that is the one that I had as a kid. So hopefully we'll get that, and if not, a black repaint's always easy to do.
Of course.
This is 3-0 DLX or Deluxe Last Night Optimus Prime. It doesn't transform. What do you think about this figure, Bobby?
So I'm not a movie guy. The movie figures, rather. I don't collect the movie figures, and I don't collect statues. This actually looks good though. The colors on this are really, really nice. And I love the pose. It won't be making it into my collection, but that is actually a really nice statue.
So it's not a statue; it's an action figure.
Oh, it's
So it
actually okay. So
moves. Yeah,
okay, so I do apologize for that. Then
yeah.
let me retract that then. It's actually a nice figure. I like the colors on it as well. Still not for my collection. I don't collect the movie figures, and that scene that they have him in is really kind of cool. Looks like he just landed or something, and all the dirt or fire or
Mhm.
ash or whatever that material is coming up off the ground. That's what made me think it was a statue. But that is actually really, really cool looking.
So I actually really like this design for Prime. It's one of my favorite movie designs. The only issue I have is it doesn't look like it transforms in the movie or on this figure. It doesn't look like a transformer, but it's really cool. I think if you collect non-transforming figures and you like this version of the Prime, this is going to be a must-have.
Yeah, I can see that. Those colors are really, really, really nice. Even the
Yes.
detail in the sword, that's really nice.
Yes, I think these are the same people that did the Siege, Optimus, and Nemesis Prime and Megatron. They were the non-transforming figures, and those turned out really good. So I'm sure this one's going to be right up there with them.
Yeah.
Now, something that's not toy related is we have a new game, and it is Transformers Reactivate, or Reactivated, excuse me. And I watched the trailer, and I think you did as well, Bobby. I'm not terribly interested in this. This is not what I want out of a Transformers game, but I wish everybody that likes it a lot of fun playing it.
I needed to see more. You know,
True.
the intro and everything, I was like, I did not tie it to Transformers at all. I was thinking Halo or some space game, you know, whatever, some future world that's being overrun by monsters. I couldn't tell. Saw a lot of destruction. Doesn't say Transformers. And then all of a sudden, I see Bumblebee's hands, and or who I'm assuming is Bumblebee as he gets reactivated. Not really my cup of tea for a game. I have to see more to see if it's something that I would try to take on.
I agree. I think it can be good, but my first impression is this looks like every other video game that's come out in the last 10 years.
Right.
So I'm not very optimistic, especially with the games industry currently. But I hope, and it's also a multiplayer game, and I do not like multiplayer games. I want a single player game through and through. So
I
hopefully
think
it's
what
good, but
four people or something
It
like
says
that.
1 to 4 players, which
Yeah.
makes me think it's going to be like Warframe if you have played Warframe. So that's what I'm expecting, but we'll see.
Yeah. Or maybe we won't see in my case.
Maybe we won't. Well, we will see somehow. Well, there'll be another trailer eventually. Okay, moving on. We've got it's a classics Rescue Bot Starscream, and I think this just looks adorable. I kind of want to buy one because it's cute, and I guess it actually takes molding from a bumblebee that turns into a jet from Rescue Bots. But I like this guy. Probably won't get it unless they make the whole set. If they make all 3 Seekers, the Cone Heads, and like Acid Storm and stuff, I might just, they're cheap enough. I might just get them all.
I'm sitting here picturing your shopping cart with a bunch of these in there.
I've bought weirder things,
and that's why I'm laughing. I actually think it's cute as well, but I would give this to my daughter. It would not have any space. It wouldn't take up an inch of space in my collection. This would definitely go in my daughter's room, and maybe an intro for her to Transformers. So it looks like something that if she broke or whatever, I wouldn't be upset about at all.
Yes, I can totally see that with this figure.
Like
Moving on, we have
oh.
XM Studios G1 Galvatron statue.
Oh.
And what are your impressions of this? You seem in rapture over there.
That thing is beautiful. Oh my goodness. It takes everything. It has him holding the Matrix. It has him in a very distinct pose. Then both pictures, it looks like he's ready to wreak havoc. He looks like he's already done some damage to Unicron. I love the little version of him transformed into his cannon, his space cannon, whatever you want to call it, on the side there. This thing looks amazing. The colors are gorgeous. If I was in for spending a couple of $1,000s on one item, this would make it into my collection, but it doesn't transform. It's a statue, and I'm not there yet.
I concur with everything you just said. It looks amazing. I'm surprised you like this as much. Like I told you when you first sent me a picture, it's very stylized, and I like that. So isn't he supposed to have red abs though?
Yes.
So I think they need to add that. Other than that, I think it's great.
It's gorgeous. I mean, if I had the space and the wallet, I would definitely jump on this. And the price I don't think has been released yet. I just compared it to some of their other releases.
Yeah, so this was announced at Comic-Con somewhere. So hopefully we'll get some more information soon for you guys.
And I have one question though. So it looks like from his arm, I guess it's a statue that his arms potentially move, because it looks like.
So usually with these statues, you could take off the arm and put on another arm.
Okay.
So it probably comes with both the arm that's straight out and the arm that's
I got you.
And you could switch them out. I've watched a few reviews on these, and it's fun to watch the reviews, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Makes sense.
So now something that I'm interested to hear your thoughts about is there is a new collab that has been leaked, I guess you can say, and it's called Bear. Now, I'll tell you what I hope it is. I hope it's a polar bear that is for Coca-Cola. That's what I want. Cokes have been everywhere in my household because my father works there. So I have a lot of Coke stuff. And if they did do that, I'd have to buy 2 of them, one for me and one for him. So hopefully that's what it is. But bear could go in so many different ways. And what do you think it would be?
So being that I'm in Atlanta, home of Coca-Cola, that would be very interesting. I'd probably see it all over the place here. I was thinking, and this is dating myself, I was like, Teddy Ruxpin or something like that, which was the talking bear when I was a kid. Then it made me think of the movie Ted, and that would be amazing
That would be
since
cool.
I like that movie so much. Otherwise, don't they have like what is it, Make a Bear or what is that place in the malls?
Build-A-Bear.
Build a Bear, and I was like, is it a Build a Bear Transformer?
Oh, it could totally not be a Transformer. It could be they just have a Transformer Build-A-Bear out.
Yes, that's what I was
That
thinking.
would suck.
That's what I
Well,
was thinking.
we'll see.
Yes.
So it's all up in the air for now. And now we have three, I guess, figures that I know Bobby is going to go absolutely bananas over when he sees them.
Uh-oh.
First one is Bumble Swoop. I know you love this thing and you're going to be buying like 3 of them, just displaying all modes, right?
You're absolutely right. At your house.
Hey, you got to buy them. I'll put them. You buy them for me. I will display them. This is a reissue of, I believe it was Robots in Disguise, Bumblebee and Swoop that combined into the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. I don't. It looks fun. It looks like if I got this while I was 6 or 7, I would have had a blast with it.
Oh yeah.
So, kudos to Hasbro to making something that actually looks fun.
You know, I hate to agree with you, but I do. It does look like it's something for fun. As a little kid, I think, you know, unfortunately, when I was a little kid, I had G1 Transformers, so there was no this when I was a kid. But for this generation's young kids, I think it would be fun. Something that you could run against the wall. It probably just has things that pop off and you can pop it right back on. Probably really easy to transform. The colors look really good on Swoop. So, and actually I like Swoop in the alt mode.
You know, and that's something I was going to bring up. The colors on both the alt mode and the robot mode of Swoop are very interesting. They kind of mix the red and blue versions together, and I do quite like that.
Yeah, I like it. It's what's the age on that? Is it 6+? My daughter might be getting that.
She should. I think she would like it. It looks fun, and you know, and I think it has a combining gimmick to where they pop open when they like combine. Like when you put them together, they pop open and transform. So
That would be good for her.
I think this would be good for her or any other kid that would be interested in these.
Yeah, you might get
And
this
it's
for
Bumblebee. Well, you have to check your targets, which I don't think you're going to have an issue finding this at Target. Moving on to another figure that I know Bobby's going to like is we have Soundwave and Cheetor in the Authentics line. So I know Bobby likes it when characters are not their G1 selves, and this Soundwave is a truck. So what do you think about that?
Why? 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 Like literally, what always kills me about it, I don't care that you repurpose the name, but Sound Wave. What does that have to do with a truck?
Telecommunications truck for the Army.
Does that look like a telecommunications truck for the Army?
Yeah, look, it has a big silver thing on its back.
That looks like my neighbor's truck next door. So I'm gonna skip past the Soundwave and I'll talk about the Cheetor, which, for what it is, it's a good-looking Cheetor.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see more Beast Wars representation. I think the thing that irks me is it's definitely a techno-organic Cheetah, but the box has a 100% organic Cheetah on it.
Yeah.
And I would be a little bit annoyed as a kid because I noticed those type of things. If I got this and I opened it up and I'm like, but this doesn't look like the box. It's obvious. Honestly, I think this is Rise of the Beast Cheetor, and they're just repackaging it. I'm going to be honest.
Could be.
That's what it looks like.
Be. It looks like from the trailer, yeah.
They already did that a few times with Optimus Prime, where they had Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime and the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. So that's what I think this is.
And honestly, where's the rest of its spots? I see like 5 spots by his head and like 5 spots on the front legs, and that's it.
Yes, well, these figures are like $9, $9 or $10, and I
Could
think they're 12 inches tall too. So
so
I
somebody take a Sharpie and make some dots on them, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it does look more like a puma or something.
It looks like a cat with freckles.
I mean, that is a cheetah.
I need more spots.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the only third-party news that I could find,
You're
and
getting that
that
for
is
Christmas.
we are getting an APC Toys Red Gladiator, which is the Prime Cliff Jumper. And now I had the original one back in the day, and it was a great mold. I really like Cliff Jumper as this alt mode. I know you might detest it, but I think this alt mode fits Cliff Jumper. I like the horns on the front and how in the show they turn onto the horns on his head, but obviously that doesn't happen in this. So I might get this depending on the price, but I really like the original one. And I think if you missed out on the original one back in 2010 or so, this is going to be great for you. And the transformation's really cool. I would encourage you to pick it up just for the transformation alone.
Oh, you're talking to everybody else. You're not talking to me, right?
No, I'm talking to you. You should get this, or at least watch a review.
What? Oh, there's somebody else in here with me? Wait a minute. So I do remember watching the show, and he didn't make it. Did he die in like the first episode?
The first episode, I was so mad. Cliff Jump, I like Cliff Jumper over Bumblebee, obviously. And when he died, I was like, I don't even want to watch the rest of the show anymore. He's the one I got his toy already because it was like a first edition version or whatever. And I was like, I don't even want to continue with the show because I'm watching this for Cliff Jumper. And then he dies in the Bumblebee movie too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing to my poor guy?
Yeah, he doesn't have a good lifespan.
No,
I guess Cliff
not at
Jumper,
all.
he's jumping off the cliffs and not making it. So, you know, I like I don't love the character. I have no real connection with the character. He's not my Cliff Jumper. It looks okay. It looks spot on to what it looked like in Prime. So I can go with that. And for people who enjoyed the Prime cartoon, I would guess you would jump all over this. For me, I didn't really have a connection with it. I watched it for the sake of watching it when it came out, but that's about it. And his chest looks humongous. I mean, it it just looks like a big box on his chest with a head and some antlers sticking out, and his thighs look really skinny. So I don't think I'll be picking this up to add to my collection because
Yeah.
it looks like a knockoff of a knockoff.
It actually looks dead on to the Hasbro version. But watch a review on it. It's very interesting how it transforms.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, let's move into some updates. Now we got some exciting updates, especially when it comes to Deathsaurus. So we've got, I added this picture because you can actually see it next to its G1 self. And I love this. They really took the time and detail into doing a one-to-one representation, just like the MP Star Saber, where it goes from the G1 toy straight into the new toy. And there were some other points that I wanted to talk about. So the first one is that they went to anime accuracy on like the weapons and stuff instead of what it looked like on the original toy, which I can appreciate. They also mentioned that the dragon mode has neck and wing articulation, which I know some people didn't know if it had. So I think that's really cool that they added that. And lastly, which kind of ties into our last point, all of the weapons can be stored in the throne. And I wanted to show this picture because it shows how long, I don't remember the name of this gun, but this is a ginormous gun. So this is going to be, yeah, it's going to wreak some havoc. So that's really cool. And then the last point with Deathsaurus is it got the throne. All 3 tiers have been funded. So let's go. I don't know how I'm going to display them, but this is really cool.
I'm just surprised that you are going to back him. I know there were some concerns initially when it was released,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like you've been coming across the line every day more and more. So to hear you just sit there and say outright that you're trying to figure out how you're going to display him, I take it you're backing him, which
Yes,
I
I
actually
am.
am as well.
Hmm. It was the colored prototype that swayed me. When I saw it in color, I was like, this looks really good. And I could see that they filled in as much of the gaps as possible. It looks like it has all the articulation. I saw the size. And then I looked at the price points of the other ones and I'm like, well, this is honestly what I wanted. I don't like the proportions of the Mastermind Creations or Planet X ones. And the is it X Transbots
Extra
that's
bucks.
doing it is just too big for my collection.
So I haven't decided if I'm going to get the X Transbots version, but I am in on this. So happy that the throne got funded.
Mhm.
After watching the cartoon for the first time earlier this year, I realized that he needed the throne because it seemed like he did most of his work on the throne. That dude was lazy. He had everybody do his work for him. So definitely needed the throne. And I'm really excited that we're going to get it. I love that everything stores on the back of the throne and it looks great. I think it actually looks even better than Star Saber did. And I funded that, which I still haven't
I
got my.
Yes, and I completely agree. And I did not back Star Saber because I thought it was okay, but not exactly. I saw the size, and the size didn't live up to what I wanted. I wanted the combined mode to be a good, like as tall as Seed's Jetfire, and I think it's just a little bit shorter, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't working for me. But this guy's exactly the same size. I think it's going to look great with who is it? Hades, which is Leo
Yes.
Kaiser. This is going to scale amazing with that figures, excuse me. So I think this is going to be great. And also, I'm the con. I always buy Decepticons more than Autobots. That's always going to sway me. That Decepticon throne looks amazing, so I can't wait.
Yeah. And you got to get what we have one more day left
Oh yeah,
to
I'm doing
fund
it
this.
tonight. I have an alarm set on my Google Home right here to go off at 7, so I don't forget. Yeah. Okay, and then this is some new pictures of Toys Easy's JS02 Type 075 landing helicopter dock. This looks pretty good. I like it. The details are right. I like that again it has a like a what's that called? Like a
Gatling gun.
tower.
Oh.
Yeah, but it looks like a tower. Like if you look at
Mhm.
the base of the Gatling gun, like it has radar dishes and stuff. So I'm wondering if all of those are going to combine into some sort of like mobile unit or something at the very end.
Ah, that'd
You
be interesting.
know, but I think this looks okay. I don't know if I'm going to be picking it up still. Got to be honest with you. And what do you think about this?
So this one doesn't catch me as much as the first one caught my eye. And I'm not sure if you have a picture of it in alt mode, but he looks very there we go. So are those oh wait, okay. I just saw something that sways me now.
What?
Are those little boats on the side come with it and the helicopters and things?
See, and that's something I was going to bring up. I don't know if those come with it or if it's going to be the Show Z type of thing
So I
where
do know.
it's a
Yeah,
store exclusive to another store. I don't know.
because that makes a big difference as I realized from my first purchase of theirs that the weapons and the helicopters and things didn't come with my figure. And I was a little upset
Mhm.
about that since it was shown in the pictures that it was there. But this looks really good. The crazy thing about it is the first one had some really challenging steps in the transformation. I'm curious of how this one was going to be. But once I bought the first one, I knew that I was going to be in for the set since it is a combiner. And I would be mad 5 years down the line if I only had one of them and kicking myself in the butt saying, why didn't you pick up all of them so you could combine them?
That makes sense. And speaking of the combiner, here is the limb for it. And I've got to be honest, I don't know if I really like this limb. It's very tubular, and not the good way. It's very tubey. It doesn't have much dimension, to be quite honest with you.
Those ratchets are going to have to be really strong, or the top half of this guy is going to have to be really light, because those are some skinny legs. I mean, he definitely missed leg day in the
A few
gym.
times.
So yeah, so I'm not sure about the foot, leg, foot as well. Don't really like that. Hopefully though, the final product looks good. I don't like that though.
Yeah, me neither. And another thing that concerns me is we talked about in our review of this that the paint gets scratched and whatnot. And that bottom of the foot, I think, is completely painted. It's the front of the boat.
Yeah.
So that is very scary. And I have the same thing with the one that we already have. The bottom of his feet are painted. And I don't like that because it's already prone to paint scrapes. And I think this one is going to be no different.
Well, good thing you like repainting and painting, so you can do some touch-up work.
Well, I like to repaint. I don't like to touch up, especially when I'm spending 150 plus on a figure.
Right.
It's a big difference.
Right.
All right, well, let's look at what's incoming now. And there's only one, unfortunately. I wasn't able to find many things that were coming out. So, and this is the X-Transbots MX22T Commander Stack Youth version, which is their Toon, correct me if I'm wrong, the Toon version of Ultra Magnus.
Toy version.
Oh, this is the toy version. Okay, excuse me. This is the toy version. And I think this looks good, like we talked about before. But I put this particular image in there because I don't know which one it is, but the white face on the bottom, I think that looks really cool. I don't know what it's from, but it's like white with the metal chin strap. I really think that looks cool.
So I actually have this pre-ordered. I did get the other version in hand, and I actually had some QC issues. One of the wheels was put in upside down, so I can't transform it completely. There's definitely some issues with the cab connecting together really tight initially. So I was on the fence about completing this one, but I think I am going to get it because I do like those colors. And I like the toy version. It just brought back so many memories of my G1 Ultra Magnus. So I am going to get it. And I think I'm just going to keep it in bot mode.
I don't blame you. I think this colors look better than the one that was previously released. And I really think you should use that face with the white head, the head with the white face, because I don't know what that's a callback to, but I think that thing looks cool. Like, I want to get that head and just put it on another Ultra Magnus because it looks so freaky. I don't even know what it is.
That's funny you say that. And I rarely do I ever remember to change the faces out. I do love the options of the faces, but rarely do I ever change the faces out. I was a little disappointed with some of the QC issues, and I just hope it doesn't happen with this figure as well once it comes in. But I'm going to go ahead and pay off my balance on it and get it. I was wondering if I was going to cancel or go through with it, and I think I just made the decision to go through with it.
Well, I can't wait to see those two next side by side.
Yes.
And we'll move on to the recently released figures. So the first one is HasLab Starsaber. I think we touched on this in the last news episode, but this one is actually shipping. It's coming out. People are receiving it. I don't think you received yours yet because I think I would have heard about it, but it is on its way to people. So look for this. If you ordered it, you should be getting it soon.
I've saw that some people are having issues with theirs with paint.
Oh.
I'm hearing there's some paint issues, which disturbs me because
that's disheartening.
You had time as we're throwing money at you to fund this so we wouldn't have those types of issues. But I've
Hmm.
heard that a lot about paint issues. So I'm praying to Primus that that doesn't happen with mine, but I will let you know as soon as I get it.
Yes, we should do a review on this, even if I don't have the figure.
Let's do it.
Um, let's go on to the next thing, which a bunch of Magic Square is back in stock or reissued. I don't know exactly what's going on Show Z. I chose the cone heads because they're cool and I think they look nice. So if you're a Legends collector and you missed out on any Magic Square releases, go check Show Z. They might have them for you.
They look really good. Now, I have a question. Do you like those knees?
No,
Okay. I was just
I
trying to
don't
make
like
sure
the
you're
big knee
consistent
pads. I don't like the knee pad. I was actually thinking about that as I was talking, that I'd try to punch out that pin and just take them off.
because I know
Because
when I got my MP Dirge, you were like, "Yeah, I hate the knee pads," and that's the same knee
that makes me
pads.
hate that figure. Yeah, yeah. I think it was Zeta Toys Coneheads. They didn't have ginormous knee pads, and those were my Coneheads. I do not like. I don't understand them. I don't know if it's part of the show or if it's the original G1 toy. I don't think it is. Don't know where those knee pads came from.
They play football on the side. Who knows?
That works for me. I mean, they got their heads for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Another thing that you could buy right now, I think this is a re-release, which it only came out, a few months ago, of the WW01B Wasp Warrior. I guess it's a black bumblebee. I don't quite know where the color scheme goes into. I'm not quite well versed in movieverse, but this thing looks good. I don't have any qualms with it. If you like it, get it. I know there was a gag or a meme or whatever back in the day of Murder Bee, which was this color with red eyes. That's the only reason why I would be picking this up.
Bumblebee crossed over with Spider-Man, and the symbiote got to him.
Oh, gotcha.
That's my story, and I'm
Don't,
sticking with.
no, don't say that because then you're gonna make me buy it.
There you go.
Venom's my favorite.
That's Venom B
Oh no, no.
or B Venom. There you go.
Oh,
B Venom. You
no,
could be
no,
Venom.
no. Now I gotta go get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Put a big spider symbol on the hood.
There you go. Yep. I'm off. I'm there with you.
Only if you buy it too.
Oh, never mind.
Another thing that was recently released is the Zeta Toys ZB06 Superitron metallic paint version, and it's obviously Superion. And what kills me is a set of 6. I don't know what the 6th figure is.
So
That's what it says on Show Z. So
I think they're counting the combined mode as the 6th figure, maybe.
or was the crotch leg area, was that sold separately?
So I have the Zeta version, and it's only 5 in the box, unless there's some secret compartment in the box that another figure is supposed to drop out of. But did they put names with them? I wonder. But no, there's only the 6 or
Yeah.
only the 5. Excuse me.
Yeah,
And the
okay.
6
That's what I
being the
thought.
combined mode.
Okay, maybe that's what it is because I was very confused when I saw that. Because I'm like, this isn't like King Toys where the crotch is its own figure. So
Gorilla pants.
So if you like this figure, go get it. It looks pretty cool. But I have the knockoff Combiner War Superion, which will be my Superion. It's 17 inches tall, more than enough for Superion for me because he is not my favorite combiner.
I actually like this combiner. I was really happy when I picked it up, especially waiting for Fans Toys to complete their Superion. Oh, Jesus.
Which they still haven't done, right?
They still haven't done yet. So that is one thing that I was really happy with Zeta. They complete theirs and get it out. And I like it. It is my Superion. It's been my Superion for almost 2 years now. So I like it. Does what it's supposed to do. Has a really good presence on my shelf. And I think it scales well with my other combiners as well.
I completely agree with that, especially for an MP collection.
Yeah.
moving on, we have the Devil Savior DS02 Giant Axe Troublemaker. And this is the ROTF scavenger. And I actually do like the figure because, excuse me, it's a unique body shape, and I can really appreciate that. But I do not like this Devastator, and I won't be picking this up. But I can appreciate it from afar.
I can appreciate it from even further than you can appreciate it from. This is definitely not my Devastator. I remember when the Bayverse came out with Devastator, and I was at the movie theater so upset.
Me
I
too.
didn't see it,
With the
any
wrecking
of the
balls.
trailers prior to. Oh, it was terrible. And I was, what is this thing? This is not Devastator.
Yeah.
So it is very unique. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do, that's one thing I do have to give props to the Bay movies, is they do make very interesting body shapes. And this is one of the biggest ones. And honestly, the original one is I never had the figure, but it's a big part of my childhood because it was everywhere when this movie came out. So I do remember seeing this on the shelf, and this is really cool. So for those of you that like Bayverse, I think you should be picking this up, because I would be picking this up if I liked it. It looks like it's built well.
Yeah.
And now
I
for something a
think.
little bit more your speed, we have the Jin Bao upgrade set for Gravity Builder. And I believe you said this was like toys, correct?
Correct. So they've been talking about it. So they have done 3D upgrade kits for pretty much most of the combiners, and I love them. Don't have any, but they look amazing. And supposedly they were doing a kit for Jim Bao, the original one, and now I think it's going into mass production. So they're re-releasing the Jim Bao Devastator kit, and you can actually purchase it. So I've heard, with the Like Toys upgrade kit as well.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
that's pretty
So
cool.
yes. So I
I
have
might have to
this
look into that.
Devastator, and I'm going to actually pick up this kit. And it
Yes,
turns it. I mean, it looks so G1.
yes, I actually, I like my thing stylized, but I think this actually looks really good for Devastator. To be quite honest with you, it has the right proportions. The head is a little boxy, which I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I do think it looks good. So I think all in all, this is a great upgrade set, and it also comes in yellow. So that's great as well. So
I'm trying to get my hands on a yellow one, so I do not have a yellow one in my collection yet. So
now I knew they had them on Sir Toys. I don't know if you've gone to Sir Toys, but that was a while ago. It could have sold out, but I checked. Put Sir Toys in with your Show Z and Bamboo Speed, and you might be able to find some different stuff on there.
I'm going after we record.
And then the last thing that I know you are very excited for, that's finally in stock with Show Z, is the Phantasm. So this was incoming last week. It is in stock now, and I think yours is already on its way to you. So I know you're very excited about that.
I really am. You know, there's been a lot of buzz with the Jazz, or their Jive figure, over the last week, because there's been videos and things. And I think Mirage, aka Phantasm, has kind of fallen off the radar a little bit. But this figure looks great. I'm really curious to see how it is in hand. I'm anxious to get it. These are just the figures that I grew up with initially, being a Transformer fan. So this is my, you know, first impressions of Transformers from the original G1 cartoon, and Mirage, Jazz, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee. Those were kind of the staples for every episode, just about. So I am really excited to get this figure, and it looks really done well.
I agree. I think this looks really good. It's a little too tuned for me, obviously, but I think this is great, and especially for collections like yours, this is going to fit right in and be perfect for those.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
I'm super excited.
All right, well, that's all we have for you today. It was kind of light, but we try to pad it out a little bit. So we'll be seeing you soon. We'll see if we're here next week. That's going to be right before the holidays. And so we might be busy, but we'll try to fit this in. And if you see anything, let us know down in the comments.
Yes. And as always, till all debates are won.